Welcome to another edition of Halftime Heroes. I'm not sure when in the season this will get played, but we're pre-recording this. And you'll notice that the bald guy's not here. Nathan Dunham, usually my collar man, he didn't make it this week, but we've got a familiar face to Rabun County, Michael Rogers, also known as Michael D.
Yeah.
I grew up around his family, and his cousin Wesley and I played together all through school. And I was talking to Darren Giles the other day, and he was nearby on the phone, and I said, we need to get Michael D in here. Welcome here.
I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Michael, tell me just a little bit about your experience. I mean, you played Rabun County football, and you played with my brother, and you were you were the only receiver that could really catch a pass back then.
Well, got lucky a few times.
But tell us a little bit about your time.
Well, my time started in '87 on varsity, '87, '88, all the way to 1990, and of course we graduated in '91. Coach Ledford was our coach. Bill Hall, I think he left the year before that.
Fall of '86 was my senior year, and you came after that, didn't you?
Yeah, '86 would be when you graduated.
Yeah, right. Spring of '87 is when I graduated.
Spring '87,
and you were right after that.
Yeah, so my senior year playing football would have been '90, so it would have been '90, '89, about '87 would have been the fall of '87. So anyway, I was just a ninth grader, and playing JV and all that kind of stuff, but got to move on into it, the last couple of years, and was fortunate to be able to play both ways 2 years in a row, and got to play with Rob, which was a good experience, and but it was a good time. Yeah, good time.
Did you and Rob graduate? My brother Rob.
Me and Rob did graduate together, yes.
Yeah. I remember that last team after Darren and them had graduated. Like I say, you were the only one that could catch.
Well, we did have
little Jerry caught
little
some.
Jerry caught. We had Kyle Dampier. He was able to catch a few, and I might be leaving some out. But yeah, we were left, and it was interesting because up till that time we were, we're doing the sub regions and 8AA North, and so we was playing the Fannin counties and the Gilmer counties and all those guys back over across the mountain, and Pickens County.
It's just mountain ball.
Mountain ball, and then our junior year with Rob at playing quarterback, of course we had Ashley Martin, Todd Stiles, and Ryan Backer, and all that bunch, and we ended up doing really well. We had a region championship game here at Rabun County against East Hall, and that year, and because we won the sub region 5-0, and then we went to the region championship against East Hall, and that was a pretty tough game for us. We lost.
Yeah.
I took the hardest lick that I'd ever had in my life during that game, and but that was a good experience. And then the next year they changed everything up, and they gave us an option to not be in any kind of region where there would be no playoffs. You just played 10 games and you were done. And a lot of the mountain teams.
We were generally done after 10 back then anyway.
We was, but Coach Ledford had high expectations, and so instead of kind of sticking with the rest of the mountain teams, he went ahead and let us go into the new 8AA. I don't remember exactly what they called it then, but then we went and played Loganville and Gainesville and West Hall, and it was all of those teams down there.
Love it.
Love it was a game that we played our junior year.
Okay.
That was just a pride game. And they had some quarterback, I think, was going to some big-time college. Maybe.
No, you're thinking the running back was George Lombard.
George Lombard? Okay. Yeah. I can't remember exactly, because we played a lot of good running backs and quarterbacks back in them days, but that was a big game at Lovett. But our senior year, we moved into that region down there, playing all those teams. And one of the hardest hitting games was Loganville. That was one of the hardest games that I'd ever played in. But we went 0 for 5. We was 3-7 for the season. It was a pretty tough year. The band got mad at us at the end of that year for some reason. I don't even remember why. It's been 31 years ago, but they didn't even play for the last game of the year. And our parents went out on the field and made the run through. And there's literally maybe 100 people in the stands there. So it was a pretty low point. It was a tough time, but enjoyed my football career. And my football career probably wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for Dan Clagus. You may
he coached me.
Yeah. Him and Coach Ledford. Coach Ledford was a big influence for me, even in my life today. He kind of set the foundations for things I'm doing now. But I was ninth grade. Summer practice started. 3 weeks before school started, and guess who didn't show up? I didn't show up. I was working, pumping gas, and got used to making a little money. Didn't have a whole lot of money, and decided I wasn't going to play no more football. And then when school started, he caught me in the hallway, and he said, asked me where I'd been. And I told him I wasn't going to play. Make a long story short, I was at practice that evening, and I'm thankful he did, because I was able to get my career in.
Who was that, Clagus or?
Dan Clagus, yeah. He ended up going to Striven County after this.
He's in Alabama now.
Alabama,
he coached me. I think his first job was when he got up here.
Yeah.
And he was John Grantham's uncle.
That's exactly right. But yeah, that's kind of where we was at, and had a lot of good players on the team, good old boys. Of course, Rob and Christian Lovell, Ron Joe Brewer. This is my senior year. I had the Weber twins, Mike and Greg, Chad Bedingfield. I know I'm gonna leave some guys out, and they'll probably get on me, but we had Kyle Dampier. He was another one. But anyway, that was kind of our little group.
You said, kind of talking about the inspiration, Coach Ledford, and with what you're doing now. Tell them what you're doing now.
Well, Coach Ledford, when he came in here, he, I loved Coach Ledford to death. I did, and but he was more than just a game of football. He was a man of faith, and he shared that faith with us over and over and over. And even though it didn't really kick in for a few years, I remember everything he said.
Yeah.
And so he was kind of a foundation of me going, into ministry, and been pastoring about 21 years, and so that was a bit, he laid the foundation that a lot of other people built upon to help me get there.
Well, and I set these interviews up because it's a time that Nathan could do it, which you notice he's not here, but it's a Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
And when I asked you about that, I realized, I may have messed up with that.
Yeah, right now we're in a place where Wednesdays, we're not doing Wednesdays at this time, so yeah.
So where all of you pastored since you've been?
Well, Flat Creek Baptist Church over on Lake Raven, then Wolf Creek Baptist Church, yeah.
The mega churches.
The mega churches, yeah. They're my favorites. Yeah, they're my favorites.
You got a younger brother. Did Dustin play football as well?
Yeah.
He played with Austin,
He played with Austin, yeah. He was a 94 graduate.
That's my stepbrother, Austin.
Yeah, he was a 94 graduate, and he was a ninth grader when I was a senior. I just texted him a while ago, sent him a picture of you up here talking. He said, "What am I looking at?" And I told him what I was doing, and he said, "Well, you need to tell him about that time when I just got started with you, and you tackled me and got up and kicked me in the head." But we was pretty rough on them boys when they was ninth graders. But they ended up doing good,
Oh yeah.
Class of '94.
They had Jay Russell, I think. They played with Jay Russell
sure
when they came through.
Yeah, they done good.
Tell me about your daddy. How's he doing now? And I think most everybody else that watches this will be concerned, want to know how's Dole doing.
Dad, he's got medical issue with I guess dementia.
Yeah.
But he's doing pretty good. He's hanging in there, and he's happy. And
well, let me tell you something. He's a halftime hero of mine.
Yeah,
I mean, he's if you know anything about Rabun County.
Yeah.
And you know where he grew up.
Yeah.
I mean, he grew up in a cabin smaller than this.
Yeah.
And how many kids?
Yeah, there's about 6 of them, I guess, and had a pretty tough time. And then, he always said his senior trip was Vietnam. And then
he left his leg over there.
He left his leg over there. Yeah, and that was that's been a struggle for.
Yeah.
Forever,
well,
so.
Like I say, I get emotional about stuff like this.
Yeah, it is emotional. Yeah.
After I graduated high school, I was standing up here with Parker Hollifield and your daddy.
Yeah.
And we were away from the field. And I was going on with your dad like you go on with your dad.
Yeah.
And the national anthem started playing. And I said, "Hey, Dole," and he hit me like that, and he pointed to the flag.
Yeah.
And I thought, if this guy can leave his leg in Vietnam and stand up for the national anthem, hell with Colin Kaepernick. How dare he who's never had to deal, didn't grow up on Plum Orchard in a one-room cabin and then leave a leg in Vietnam. And your dad's a hero of mine, and I love him.
Yeah, he's a hero of mine too. He is, and we just love him to death. And he's taught us a lot, taught us how to work, taught us how to hunt, taught us how to take up for ourselves. And,
I'm getting a sign that about out when we said taught us how to hunt. When I was a senior or a junior in high school, I was on Lake Burton WMA hunting, and there was sign all over the place, all these pawings. And about 10:30 or 11 that morning, I heard something behind me. I turned around, and your daddy looked out behind the tree and shot me a bird. And you were with him.
Yeah.
And about every 5 steps, you'd kick out another paw place. And I realized I wasn't hunting a deer, I was hunting you.
Hunting me, yeah. He always knew where y'all boys were, and he always liked to.
Well, like I say, I'm glad you're here, but your daddy's my hero.
I guarantee you, I wouldn't blame you a bit. But I appreciate you having me. It's an honor to be able to be here, and I love Rabun County football. I've been following it since '82 when Wesley was a freshman. Went to every game of his, and never forget the Duluth game.
Oh yeah.
7-7 field goal to end the game. Mike Mason jumped as highest I ever seen a man jump. The biggest thing that night, though, I had to walk around the back of the locker rooms that night to give Wesley some money. And all them boys was back there, and boy, they was on the ground, boys, they was beating the ground, they was crying. And, that put a little something in me that I couldn't wait to play some Rabun County football. So anyway.
Well, we're getting the time limit, so but we'll be back again next week, unless this is the last game of the season that this airs.
Yeah.
But another episode of Halftime Heroes brought to you by Stockton & Stockton Attorneys at Law.
Thank you, Adam.